Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for Tomorrow Survivals. Please stay for this video. I like it because it's different from what I usually cover. The more typical, shooting stuff and more, directly linked to self-defense, which, by the way, is a lot of the stuff that I cover in street survival skills, especially given everything we've seen going on lately, carjackings, as I mentioned in the previous video. Street survival skills, it's based on my first-hand experience with a lot of these things that most people haven't had even once happened in their life. For me, it was for years the way I lived. So home security, safety while on the streets, self-defense, defensive driving, and a bunch of other practical aspects of survival and preparedness, and also for the economic aspect, of course, surviving the economic collapse. My book with over 1,000 reviews, thanks to you guys. If you have my books and like them, leave a review. It's much appreciated on Amazon and definitely helps with the algorithm. One more thing, I have a little channel regarding video games, movies. I do that because I just enjoy those. I'll leave the link below. It's called Gem Reviews. I'll leave a review for a movie recommendation for this weekend, and Star Citizen is the video game I've been playing lately, and if you like that kind of content, links there below too. So let's get to this. This woman, Sarah Boone, is being interviewed by the police. This is how it goes.
All right, B-O-O-N-E. First name, Sarah, S-A-R-A-H. Birth date, 10-10-77. So, you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine.
Putting puzzles together, doing artwork.
Doing puzzles, artwork. Okay.
Had a bottle of wine and then decided to play hide and seek. So he
What
gets,
time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least and I fell asleep.
Okay.
Forgetting that he was
So
in
you
the
guys
suitcase.
were playing the hide and go seek.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So
Okay.
he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right
When
where
he
it
got in
is.
Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little
It
joke.
was. We both were laughing about it.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep
Where did you fall asleep at?
upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay.
So they were apparently playing hide and seek, fooling around, but drinking, which is also an added component of things that can end up in tragedy. Anytime you mix drugs, alcohol, but also anytime you mix someone that is a complete psychopath, like in the case of this woman. Police are suspicious. The man willingly or is either coerced or for whatever reason he gets into a suitcase. She closes it and apparently she falls asleep and forgets that the man is in there. Now the police are not buying it and they actually get an order for checking her phone, and in her phone they find the following video.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real or ransom. Might want to get video for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real or ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
I can't breathe, babe. He says, man called Jorge Torres, her boyfriend, small frame guy, obviously fits in there for whatever reason. He's either not strong enough, the suitcase is just too strong or tough, and he cannot get himself out of it. Notice that it's turned upside down, so he's actually, on top of the lid of the suitcase. For whatever reason, he cannot get out. And she's enjoying this like nothing else. She's laughing as he is suffocating inside there. We're talking about a woman that then when she was interviewed, and you can look all of these up. I watched the entire thing, over 2 hours of the police interviewing her. She's a complete psychopath. She's a narcissistic psychopath. She's only bothered by how inconvenienced the passing of her boyfriend is to her, even though she killed him. So she's upset with the police. I told you that it was not my intention. And they say, well, you said you were playing and you were both laughing and you fell asleep. Now we have a video showing that you were laughing as he was telling you, babe, I can't breathe. And you just laughed and you left them there and you went to sleep and you came back the following day when it was obviously too late. She is a cold-blooded murderer. She is a complete psychopath. This 40-year-old woman that says they were just, doing arts and crafts and playing hide and seek. Now, what is this video about? This video is about making bad decisions. You never, ever put yourself in that position. You never let someone have control over whether you live or die. I know there's a number of factors you just don't control, but willingly putting yourself in a position where someone can just decide on you dying or not based on them doing nothing, having some kind of, minimal action, stuff like getting yourself into a suitcase or a box or somewhere where you cannot breathe, stuff like letting someone tie you up or put handcuffs on you and let you be vulnerable, choking, even if it's like play or even sexual stuff, or horsing around, or do you trust me, or all of these little tricks that psychopaths use so as to let you slide into a position of such vulnerability. You just don't want to do that in life in general, especially when it's physical stuff like this. But you have this happen all the time. People that end up with partners that beat them or torture them psychologically or abuse them or just treat them poorly, and you see that the same person that time and again they end up with these horrible women or horrible men that harm them physically or mentally. It's a pattern that they keep on repeating. But it's not only a toxic relationship, but it's something that they gravitate towards one another. A psychopath woman and a man that is, maybe more submissive or more vulnerable, even physically so, maybe. The guy doesn't seem to be that big. But it doesn't matter. Whatever you end up doing where someone else has control or whether you live or die, don't ever do that, no matter who you're talking about. It doesn't matter if it's your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, whoever it is. You just don't put yourself in that position. No one that cares for you at all would ever ask you to do that. Cuffs, stuff like, even there was an incident recently in Italy. There were some people in a like a sex party or whatever, and they were like getting rough. Right, and there was a woman that was handcuffed. They started beating her, but it got out of control. They beat that woman to death in a sex game. So all of these things are just awful choices that some people make, even on their free will, and they end up paying for these things the highest possible price. It is terrible, really. The video, man, and the woman here, this is maybe one of the worst parts.
His daughters too.
She's saying that it's not what I'm going to be explaining to my son, because she has a son of her own, and she's just upset that she's being arrested for, of course, second-degree murder, apparently. And she says, well, what I'm going to be doing? And the detective says, he had a daughter too. You evil bitch. He had a daughter too. And see what she replies to that.
Are you trying to make it worse?
Sorry, what?
Are you trying to make it worse?
Make what worse?
How I feel?
Are you trying to make it worse by telling me that the man I killed had a daughter? You want to make me feel even worse. Narcissistic psychopath. This is the kind of people that you stay the hell away from. She could have a knife, she could have a gun, she could have whatever. She's just willing to murder without a second thought because it's all about her. Whatever goes on with you, you die and you make life difficult for me right now? She complains that she has stuff in her car. I have stuff in my car. I cannot be bothered with this. What are you talking about? This is a complete psychopath, 40-year-old woman that ended up killing this man. Guys, this goes on different levels in life. In life in general, never putting yourself in such positions. Never putting yourself in such positions when it comes to the broader aspect of this stuff that I write about and talk about all the time. Positions where you're vulnerable in many other ways as well. Don't put yourself in those positions to begin with. That's always better than applying the stuff that I cover in the channel, and I cover in my book, and I've been talking about for years now. The more you avoid these things, and it could never be clearer than in this case, though. But whatever you do so as to avoid putting yourself in potentially hard positions, hard situations, and tough spots, it's always much better than trying to find solutions for it once it's there, once you're in that position. Once you're locked in a suitcase and you're trying desperately to break open, you break that seam, you open that lock, or they rip apart that zipper, whatever it is, because you're literally dying by the second. Guys, it's going to be all for now. See you in the next video. Take care.